It doesn't look like they're switching direction. In fact, it looks like they're even more leaning into that commitment to realism. And I particularly like that they're doing that in the combat mechanics, as opposed to just being like, well, it's more unforgiving and that's more realistic. They're talking about the swordplay being much more fluid. They're talking about refining the archery system. And as a byproduct, they might be a little less forgiving. But the idea is to make them more realistic as opposed to just harder. I don't know. Some developers seem to have this weird belief that harder equals more realistic, and that's definitely not true. We'll see if it ends up being harder. I don't know. This one's actually got 2 distinct maps, so the world is quite a bit bigger. In fact, nearly double, because both maps are apparently roughly the size of the original's single map. I don't know, in a lot of ways, it really seems like this is a large upgrade from the first game. And if you enjoyed the first game, I'm sure it's going to be worth playing when it comes to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC, February 4th. Moving on to number 5, it's Atomfall, a single-player survival action game by Rebellion Developments. This one's set in alternate history, 1960s Britain, where things went awry following the 1957 Windscale nuclear disaster. A real event, but also the point of divergence for the alternate history of the game. It's 5 years later, you're a lone survivor, and you're in a quarantine zone. That setup might give you stalker vibes, but it's a little more oriented towards the sort of crafting and survival elements. It's not like a sandbox per se. It's a little more narrative driven, at least from the looks. I could be wrong.